Did the Dallas Cowboys just get a real shot at landing Myles Garrett after a shocking contract twist? News that the Cleveland Browns modified Garrett's deal has sent trade rumors into overdrive. But here's where it gets interesting. Some believe this move actually makes a trade more possible, opening the door for a blockbuster, while others argue it's just a strategic adjustment to keep their superstar long-term.
So what's the truth behind this sudden change? And are the Cowboys seriously preparing an offer? Because if Dallas pulls this off, it could instantly create one of the most feared defenses in the entire NFL.
The Dallas Cowboys may be on the verge of something absolutely massive. And if you're a fan of America's team, what's happening right now could change everything you thought you knew about this offseason. Because the Myles Garrett to Dallas buzz, it's not just noise anymore. It's getting real and it's getting hot.
Over the last 24 hours, a major development out of Cleveland has completely shifted the conversation around Garrett's future. The Browns have reportedly restructured elements of his contract, and while on the surface that might seem like a routine financial move, insiders around the league are reading between the lines, and what they're seeing is raising eyebrows everywhere. Because when a team starts tweaking a superstar's deal like this, it often signals one thing: flexibility.
And flexibility can mean preparation for something big.
Now, think about this from Dallas's perspective. The Cowboys have been searching for that true defensive game record to pair with Micah Parsons. Yes, the defense has talent. Yes, Parsons is already one of the most dominant forces in the NFL. But imagine for a second lining him up opposite Myles Garrett. Offensive coordinators wouldn't just have a problem, they'd have a nightmare. You can't double both. You can't scheme away both. Someone is getting through.
And that's exactly why this rumor refuses to die.
League insiders have started whispering that Dallas has quietly checked in on Garrett's availability more than once. Nothing official, nothing confirmed publicly, but enough smoke to suggest there could be something building behind the scenes. And now with Cleveland making contract adjustments, it adds fuel to the fire in a way that feels different from your typical off-season speculation.
Because here's the truth. Teams don't just restructure deals for fun. There's always a strategy behind it. It could be cap relief. It could be future planning. Or, and this is where things get interesting, it could be setting up the books to make a trade more manageable.
And if you're the Cowboys, you have to at least explore it. Let's be real about Dallas for a moment. This is a team that has been knocking on the door but hasn't been able to break through when it matters most. Playoff exits, missed opportunities, and the constant question, what's missing? The answer might be simpler than people think. They need another elite, proven difference maker on defense. Not a project, not a maybe, a guy who changes the entire game plan the moment he steps on the field. That's Myles Garrett. We're talking about one of the most feared pass rushers in football, a player who commands double teams every snap, who can wreck drives single-handedly, and who brings a level of physical dominance that very few players in the league can match. Put him in Dallas, and suddenly everything changes. The defensive line becomes unstoppable. The secondary looks better because the quarterback has less time. The entire identity of the team shifts.
But let's not ignore the big question. Would Cleveland actually do it?
On paper, it sounds crazy. You don't just trade away a superstar like Garrett. He's the face of your defense, arguably the face of your franchise. But the NFL is a business, and sometimes decisions are made that shock everyone. If the Browns feel like they need to reset financially, or if they believe they can get a massive return in draft capital and young talent, it's not impossible.
And that's where Dallas comes into the picture. The Cowboys have assets. They have players, they have draft picks, and more importantly, they have a window. This team is built to win now, not in 3 years, not in 5, right now. And when you're in that position, you have to at least consider making a bold move.
The question is, how bold are they willing to be? Because a trade for Myles Garrett wouldn't come cheap. We're talking multiple high draft picks, possibly a key player or two, and a willingness to take on a significant contract. This isn't a small deal. This is franchise-altering territory.
But sometimes that's exactly what it takes.
Think about the message it would send, not just to the fans, but to the locker room. Bringing in a player like Garrett tells everyone that the Cowboys are all in. No more waiting, no more playing it safe. It's a declaration that they're ready to do whatever it takes to compete for a championship.
And let's be honest, that's what fans have been waiting for.
For years, there's been this feeling that Dallas is close, but not quite there. Talented, but missing that final piece. Well, this could be that piece. This could be the move that finally pushes them over the top.
But as exciting as this all sounds, there's still a lot that has to happen.
First, Cleveland has to be willing to listen. And while the contract restructuring has sparked speculation, it doesn't guarantee anything. The Browns can simply be managing their cap situation. They could be planning to keep Garrett long-term. There are still plenty of unknowns.
Second, Dallas has to decide if they're ready to pay the price, because again, this won't be cheap. It's not just about what you give up, it's about what you're committing to moving forward.
And third, there's competition.
If Garrett truly becomes available, it won't just be the Cowboys calling. Half the league would be interested. Contenders, rebuilders, everyone. Because a player like this doesn't hit the market often. When he does, it turns into a frenzy.
So Dallas would need to move fast, be aggressive, be willing to outbid everyone else.
And that's where things get really interesting. Because historically, the Cowboys haven't always been the most aggressive team when it comes to blockbuster trades. They've made moves, yes, but something on this level, this would be different. This would be a statement.
And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what this team needs.
Imagine opening week with Micah Parsons on one side, Myles Garrett on the other. The crowd roaring. Opposing quarterbacks already feeling the pressure before the ball is even snapped. It's the kind of scenario that changes expectations overnight.
Suddenly, you're not just hoping to make a playoff run, you're expected to. That's the kind of impact we're talking about.
And the crazy part? It doesn't feel impossible anymore. Just a few days ago, this idea might have sounded like pure fantasy, something fans throw around on social media. But now, with the contract news out of Cleveland and the growing chatter around the league, it feels like something that could actually happen.
Not guaranteed, not even likely maybe, but possible. And in the NFL, sometimes that's all it takes.
Because once a door opens, even just a little, teams like Dallas are always watching, always ready to make a move if the opportunity presents itself.
So keep an eye on this situation.
Watch what Cleveland does next. Watch for any hints, any signals that they might be open to something bigger. And most importantly, watch Dallas, because if they decide to go all in, this could be one of the biggest stories of the entire offseason.
The Myles Garrett to Cowboys rumor is no longer just talk. It's heating up, it's evolving, and it might be building towards something huge.
And if it happens, the entire NFL landscape could change overnight.